Go ahead and call our meeting to order. It is clear that we don't quite have a forum, so we're gonna still move through the agenda. We just won't be able to vote on anything. And once we get a quorum, then we can't approve the minutes either. Once we get a quorum here, we'll go back and make sure that we entertain a motion to approve our minutes. Okay? Having said that, Brother Nehemiah, would you lead us into the word of prayer?
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to come together to discuss the issues that are facing our city. We thank you for all the commissioners and all of the staff and all of our visitors who are here with us today. We pray that something will be made from this meeting that will help us to move forward in a progressive and a unified manner. These are the things we ask. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. We're going to skip the minutes approval and move down to can't approve the agenda either. We're going to move down to commission discussions.
Okay, first discussion item would be, both of you were present at our first unity meeting on community conversation about expanded uses on Monday night. Originally that came about in the previous meetings that the commission had. And so that was one of the things that we said we would do with the commission. And so that meeting did take place. Thank you for being there. Staff is in the process of preparing a report. That meeting also made some recommendations that will come back to the commission on what our next steps would do. What next steps would be. Just kind of highlight some of the comments that were mentioned, or some of them had was brought earlier at one of our meetings. You know, some of the concerns, folks around housing, a lot of concerns, folks around safety, public safety, those with police department, and also just the fear of citizens not knowing where to go and what to do. There were some issues about transportation. And then a lot of, back to public safety, a lot of residents of that community have been, or when they're exposed to illegal activity, for fear of the unknown or what may happen if someone is not here legally. A lot of them are hesitant to even report those incidents. So, like I said, we're putting together a draft report, but I will mention some of the highlights that came out of that meeting that we would probably recommend. And once we complete that report and get it back in front of you all, we will solicit some suggestions from you also. But just to give you an idea of some of the things we're looking at, one, to deal with the location of additional meetings. I think it was evident at that meeting, the comments were that we need to have meetings closer to the neighborhood where you residents stay. Explore ideas of Hispanic festival. That's something that the city used to do years ago. And we kind of go, you know, the only thing we have related to that now is we have the International Festival, which includes all cultures in the community. Police department needs to be a part of those meetings. And all city related materials should be printed in Spanish. That's something we're currently working on. And then when we do like fair housing workshops, you know, we need to think of something, take something to their community also. So those are just a couple of the highlights, the suggestions that came out of that meeting. Like I said, we would definitely solicit suggestions from you all, and when we get that ready to complete that report, we will bring it back before you have our next step. Any questions?
Who all here now were actually at the meeting? Because I could not get by there. Do you all have any take on how you think things went? Were
Teresa was there.
Teresa was there? Okay. Did you all see any of the people at that meeting who actually came here that one day? They were there? Yes, okay. Do anybody have any other questions about it? If not, then we move on to next agenda item.
Next item on the agenda, at that time of the year, the MLK Commission is preparing preparing for the 2020 MLK Youth Breakfast Program. And a major part of that event is that the Greenville Lakes Commission always make recommendations to award either an individual or an organization the Service to Humanity Award. And so we're bringing it before your attention today, so we can start that conversation and begin the process of this body selecting a nominee for that award. Yes, Ms. Cobb.
This year, is it for an individual or organization? Last year was for an individual.
This year, individual, correct? Yeah, last year,
Okay.
Last
This
year,
year.
organization. Okay. Have they started identifying a speaker yet, aren't you?
If they have identified the speaker, we have confirmation from newly Associate Justice Anita Earl. North Carolina
We do?
Court of Justice.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness, okay,
Keynote
okay.
speaker.
I heard. So we're talking about an individual this time, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do any of the commission members, have anybody that stands out that you would feel like submitting?
And to help make that decision, we did what I'm passing out are kind of the award criteria that we put together years ago to help kind of identify those individuals. This was asked last year when you had the discussion, where any type of criteria are outlined so you can go by. And so we are sharing it with you in front of you at the time. So if you think about a nominee for that award, you can use these guidelines. Also, we were asked that any information or supporting documents you have when you submit that nominee, please share that with the staff so we can share with the commission also.
Now, the last individual that got it was Angela Brown or Richard Joyner? Angela Brown was the last individual that got it. Okay. And then, Archie, is there like a deadline? And
What we would like to do, this is, I'm told, November, we'd like to have, hopefully you will have, did some research and bring those nominations back to the meeting in November. And hopefully we can vote on it at that point. If not, we will probably do a mail-in vote so we can get it done by the first of the following month.
oh, and November, right around the corner. Yes, indeed. I don't know what happened in September. It just shot right by. Okay. Are there any more? Is there any more discussion on the Service to Humanity Award?
So you always just submit something or name?
If you have a suggestion now that you want to submit,
So do you have a list of names of people that have received
all right,
it?
see, sure. Those want to see,
And I believe, Mr. Smith, the last time we discussed it here as a group and actually threw out some names. And I believe we actually voted on a person, didn't we? We voted on the person here that we would like to see get it.
so the ideal format would be is that we will have collected all the information prior to the next meeting, and we can have the discussion at the next meeting, and you all can
Who's
vote.
the person that's been?
Who's the first?
We said?
No. The one that's been nominated. Last time was Angela Brown,
Yeah,
and before that was Richard Joyner.
the individual, yeah. Yeah, she got it a while back, sure did.
The Superior's name.
I don't think she has. She's been a community warrior, though, I can tell you that.
Superior.
Yes, indeed.
So
So
what
by
was
the
that,
next meeting, I'm sorry, go ahead.
so what was that about? We voted on somebody last time?
Yeah, we brought some names to the meeting, if not mistaken. And in one of these meetings, we actually, there were several different people we had. And we actually voted on who we thought would be best. And They took the person we voted for, didn't they?
Yeah, actually, I said, for clarification, he just saying the process.
Oh,
what we do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, so we got a little work to do. And you want this to happen by, our next Human Relations Commission meeting?
Ideally, yes.
Okay.
And if you come up with somebody before the meeting, you want to email it to me, and we can shoot it out to everybody. But normally, I enjoy this process. You all have always made a great selection, and the discussion of selecting the individual organization is always been good, so we'll appreciate that. And like I said, that's a very important part of the Unity Breakfast Program.
So do I see here where Angela Bryant got it in 2010 and 2018? What is that?
You know, she may have, because I've seen Black Camillus that were during the discussion, I believe you actually raised the point that we should try to get somebody who's never had it, as opposed to giving a person more than one time. So she may have had it more than one time.
I see 2010, 2018 up here. And then American Red Cross, that's an individual, not an organization.
Right.
No, the Red Cross is an organization.
But I'm saying it's,
Printed on the wrong-
oh, they print on the wrong side. Okay, that's what I was
Okay.
I was just checking. I'm a little slow.
We're gonna move on to the next item here, which is Commissioner questions and concerns. Go ahead.
We never made the final plans for that. We had 2 dates set for the event, but fell through, so that's something we still need to work out.
Is there any follow-up on the Confederate money?
No, we have received no follow-up from the last meeting that we held at the council.
I do have something that I would like to present as a concern. Since the last meeting we had, I have pondered quite a bit about how we did that meeting, about how we came to a point in that meeting where we made a decision. I want to ask the commission members to join me in being careful how we take actions. I've studied quite a bit since that last meeting, our mission statement and the appointment of the commission and how it was formed and that kind of thing. And it's very clear that we basically serve at the pleasure of the city council because they do the appointing. They appoint us, and then of course you have several other entities like NAACP and the mayor, I believe, who appoint people to the commission. And to be honest with you, I really didn't see a path where the commission actually handled grievances. It's been my experience that the grievances have always gone directly to the department because they have a trained staff who are trained to address concerns, be they employee concerns or individual concerns among neighbors. And I think it's important that a trained staff do that because it's real easy to violate somebody's rights. Okay, if you, we're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. This country don't work like that a lot of times though, but that's what it's supposed to be. And when we hear a charge against a person, I think it's very crucial that that person have a chance to rebut before an action is taken. I want to caution us on that as we go forward, to always make sure that we send concerns to the right organization, the right mechanism to truly handle it in a fair way, making sure due process is adhered to. And so I would just hope in the future that, especially if we actually have grievances among us concerning us, a grievance against another commission member, there is a process through which you can go. And I think it's going straight to the city council. I don't know whether it would need, and this is something I guess would have to be worked out. If something like that would need to go to Archie's office and then to the council, or if somebody here can actually go to a council member or something of that nature. But I just want to make sure that we exercise due process, because at any time, either one of us could find ourselves in a situation like that. But we don't always agree, but when we disagree, I would like to see us exercise the utmost fairness on both sides, so that nobody can come back and say anything about what we did. We can't expose ourselves to people who might want to challenge us down the road, or even if they do, we will be in a position of fairness. I just wanted to put that out, because I was concerned about how that meeting was conducted. I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
I'm a little confused, because I thought we had that discussion that day. And I kept saying to send it to the council.
Okay.
So I don't know why you had to go do a study and stuff. I mean, it's, and even with NAACP, it's an NAACP appointment,
Mhm.
but the council still has to approve it. So what you're saying is no different. So, to sing out NAACP saying it's NAACP appointment means nothing. It still gotta go before the
You gotta
council.
go to council.
Right, so I mean, I don't understand where you're going with that. But also, I think, it ended up okay, because this board wasn't taking any action. They just made a recommendation to send it to the council. So I'm still having a problem with following what I understand what you're trying to say, and that's good.
Okay.
But I think when we left here on that day, we all understood that it was go before the council, not us. We can't make that decision.
Right, that's true. And that was, Dancy, that was, we did clarify that. We amended the motion and everything, decided to take it to council. But we still discussed the person's situation here.
And
we took action against that person as a
No, we did
result
not.
of,
we took action to send it to the council.
what, that was an action against that person?
No, it was not, no, I don't see it like that.
Well, and you know, and we reserve.
So
the
you're
right to
telling me
differ-
that we
to
can't-
differ on that.
Well,
May
so,
may I make a
Yeah, go ahead.
suggestion, staff?
Okay.
May I make a suggestion to the commission? My suggestion is that, that item has been discussed, was discussed at the last meeting. There's no action this commission needs to do about it.
Thank you.
Moving forward.
thank you, I appreciate that. That was my point.
Do we have, yes, ma'am,
You finished?
yes.
I would like to ask the staff, how did you feel about, the Martin Luther King attendance? Do you feel it's increasing or decreasing? And how can you target more young people to attend? How can you target more?
That's a
young
really good
people to
question.
attend?
And that's something that the MLK Commission really deals with, they deal with it every year. If you notice, the attendance sometimes determines or depends on the speaker. Some speakers are more well-known or may have an interest in the community, the attendance is up, sometimes not. We always go back and forth with the speaker, try to have a balanced list of speakers. If you notice the program itself, we always include youth there. The Turbo True course has performed there for several years, and that's required to meet up all of you. Most of the time, our solos that are performed on the program, we always try to have a balance between youth and adults. So those are some of the things that we do, and try to get the information out to the schools as much as possible also. Another key component that also works is the oratorical competition. That's a part of the program, and that's solely of middle school and high school students. And when we have good attendance, a good participation in oratorical competition, we also normally have good attendance at the university, so parents normally come in to support their kids. So even with all of that, there's still some challenges. There's always concern, what about the diversity of attendance? This is a program for the whole community, and we have always, the commission is open to suggestions to help improve that.
Do you ever notice that some of the organization individuals that, have won this award, do they ever come back to participate, even though they're not being recognized?
Yes.
They do come back.
Yes.
When they first started doing that breakfast, Archie, they were doing it at a different location. I can't remember where it was, though. Was that the Y?
Yes,
It was at the Y.
one of them was at the Y, yes.
It sure
And
was.
they used to have it early in the morning, about 6.
They certainly did.
Mhm.
It seems like once they moved it into the venue it's in now,
At the Y.
the crowd looks different. I don't know if that was because the auditorium is much bigger, but
I
it
think
seems like,
speaker has a lot to do with it.
I think the crowd looks getting smaller to me.
And another part of that partnership we have with the college, in North Carolina Wesleyan, their students really participate and help organize the service projects we're having. So that's a part of trying to get the college students involved also. That partnership, when you sit in the college, that's been a very, very good partnership. That's a great location for that. And so, any suggestions that this commission or we can share with the MLK commission to improve on things are very, very welcome.
You know what I would love to see happen at one of those breakfasts? I would like to see somebody actually do one of Dr. King's speeches or play one. I certainly would, because his speeches still render the crowd.
Now,
They really do.
very, very, very good suggestion. Now, one thing that we do, if you recall, Dr. King presented the first version of I Have a Dream speech here in
That's right.
Rocky Mountain.
That's right.
And we always play that portion of that speech project program. So if you get there a couple minutes early,
Oh, okay.
that speech is being played.
Also, I need to get there on time now, a little early.
And you tell you ain't been there on time.
Always late from there. Do we have any other concerns? Yes,
Got
sir.
a question.
Yes,
I
sir.
thought, we were trying to get, Anita Earls, I thought it was for the 50th anniversary. So now you're saying,
Well, the Human Relations Commission did, that suggestion did come about that event.
Mhm.
But also, she was one of probably 5 people that the MLK Commission
Okay, I just wanted to
mentioned,
make
yeah.
sure.
She's a great speaker.
Mr. Smith.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some clarity. Director Jones, I know that we had that conversations with the Hispanic community,
Correct.
and I guess you can explain to me like I'm a third grader, because I suppose that I'm an intelligent man, but I think I missed something. I missed a meeting. What was the purpose of that program? Can you explain it to me?
Well, the follow-up to the previous meeting that we had here, one of the things that this commission said we were wanting to do was have a meeting that allowed as many individuals in that community as possible to come out and voice their concerns. But I will admit the attendance of that meeting from their community was small.
Mhm.
So that continues to be a challenge. That's something we definitely have to work on. Out of one of the recommendations that I mentioned earlier, a greater focus on a better way to approach that would probably be to have a meeting closer to where they live. And I'll share with you where the suggestion came from, the location that we had. The individual that was recommended, that a individual, or 1 or 2 that I had a conversation with following the meeting that we had here. We talked about locations. A number of locations was mentioned, churches was mentioned, but their suggestion was for the first meeting, let's try a neutral location and see how that works. So we kind of saw how that works, so we may need to review that.
Okay, so the purpose of the program was to kind of like bridge a gap, try to start bridge building, is that right?
Correct.
All right.
And I think you would agree, in order for that to happen, we need good attendance.
Yeah, you need good.
So that attendance is a challenge.
Attendance is a challenge, but also, I guess, I'm asking a question because I'm trying to understand. I'm a Southerner. I consider myself a Southerner with Southern sensibilities. And my Southern sensibilities say that when we have guests at my house or wherever I am, I'm polite. You come into my house, so how are you? You know. And so I figured that we were bridging a gap, that as commissioners, we should be polite, because we asked them to come to our place, and we wanted to find out, what was going on in their community. So I would dare not do anything to offend. I think in the beginning you said, I think I read that, maybe it was up on the board, I said, this is not a debate, isn't that right? Wasn't that?
Correct.
Right, it was a discussion.
Discussion.
It was a conversation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so I'll link this to what our chairman said. He said that we should be careful with how we present ourselves when we're dealing not only with each other. I guess we should have something. I'm just trying to understand that. I'm just.
Don't follow.
You follow me? I'm trying
Don't
to
follow,
understand.
I'm with you.
So, people came in, you opened up, and we put things up on the board. I think it was Teresa who was writing up on the board, and that's how you got the issues that you told us about, those things and the people came in, they were really engaged. I saw that the people that were there, even though the attendance was small, those persons that were there from the Latino or Hispanic community were very engaged. And they brought some information to us. We brought information to us. I think that was the purpose of it. All right. And as a commissioner, I sat and I listened because I wanted to be engaged. I realized you said this is not a debate. They brought forth some things. They were telling us that they were talking about housing. I know that's one of the things that we deal with, and that was one of the things that was up on the board. And I think the lady that was there said that one of the issues with the housing piece was that they have members of their community who live in homes where you can see through the ceiling as well as see through the floor, where there might not be adequate plumbing, where they're, substandard conditions. We had code enforcement there for the city, and they did explain that they could not just go onto private property to enforce code. Am I right? Is that what it is? Okay, that's right. Is that right? Okay, I'm still just, I'm going somewhere with this. I'm just trying to understand.
Don't follow you, bro.
And they were guests. They were our guests, and we were trying to find out so that we could work with them to alleviate some of the issues. Mr. Linwood said our chairman said that we should carry ourselves in a certain way. We had a commissioner, again, that insulted, and I'm not bringing up an accusation, anybody was there, insulted our guests. The lady expressed that she understood that there were some people in their community that have documentation problems. In other words, they are here illegally. She said that. We know we have people in our community that are here illegally. Undocumented. And she did say illegally too. She said that she did use that word specifically. Okay, we're here to bridge gaps. We're here to find out how we can help the people. And yet there was a commissioner who said, well, maybe you should partner with a 501c3, a nonprofit, that will help the landlord to help you to fix up the substandard conditions where you live. That's the first thing I didn't understand that. Why would you partner with a 501c3 or a nonprofit to help a landlord who is responsible for his or her property fix up the property? That, I was confused.
Make it plain.
I was confused by that.
The landlord should do it automatically. 501c ain't got nothing to do with it.
Oh, Miss Wells wasn't there. She understands that. Miss Wells wasn't even there. She gets it.
A 501c3 legally can't do that.
Why they
Now
gonna
you
fix it
mixing
up for
private and
him?
public funds.
Miss Wells wasn't even there, and she gets it. Wow. So then the commissioner goes on to say, this particular commissioner goes on to say, because if not, you just have to stay in that condition, in those slum conditions, because if you are here illegally and you do not have documentation, then you run into another problem where you could be put out and thus rounded up and arrested and ICE and all this kind of stuff. These terms were used, but these were our guests.
Wow.
I thought we were there to find out what the issues were, and not
tear down, not tear
and
down.
not to tear down. The people were already fearful. That may be the case why we didn't have a large turnout. Because they went on to express, the ladies went on to express later, that sometimes their communities are on lockdown because police are around the perimeter. So instead of the people going out, having fun, maybe going out to dinner or whatever, they rather to stay in because they don't want to have that interaction with authorities. Even if they're not here, they still have a fear of that. But a commissioner said, brought up, and to me it was a fear tactic. It was the way it was said. And I didn't think we were there for that. That's why I asked what the purpose of it. Okay?
You're exactly right. The challenges that community face, we've seen those challenges. What we have to do as a staff, and also to this commission, is that we have to find ways to enable those residents, Hispanic, Black, or whatever, to receive assistance and to address those issues, but work within the current laws. We don't make the laws,
Right.
That's a bigger issue.
And we made a suggestion with the lady that was there that perhaps we could put together, all of us commissioners and staff alike could put together a booklet or a pamphlet as well as an audio CD, because she did express that some people, their reading level, even in Spanish, isn't very good, but the audio accompaniment with the manual would probably be good to let them know about their rights, to let them know about the driving laws and things like that, things that they may not necessarily know would be good for us to do as a Human Relations Commission.
But can I stress a point too? I think you were here, Mr. Smith, when the group from the Hispanic community came here.
Yeah.
They were in here,
Mhm.
and there were things said at that meeting
Yeah.
that I think all of us thought were very inappropriate.
Okay.
In terms of being a commission that's seeking to reach out to people and to admire and honor diversity.
Right.
There were some comments made in here about ICE.
Right.
There were, and they were
With the
very
police in
inappropriate.
here.
Yeah, they were very inappropriate.
Okay.
Not a commission member.
A commission member,
Made
same
some
commission
comments
member.
like that.
All right. So
Okay.
then after it was over, we had discussion. The Hispanic people, members of the Hispanic community there. We were talking with commissioners, and we were trying to still just come up with other things that we could help them out with. When the commissioner came over and he made this statement. Now this is not an accusation.
And then we're gonna let Mr. Dance.
Yeah, then I let Mr. Dance, but I still, this is not an accusation.
Okay.
What I'm trying to make clear here is that you say that we need to operate in a certain manner, and yet we have a member that is not operating in that manner. It was said anyway. It was said as we're sitting there. We talking to these people already fearful. You can tell.
Well, I will say this, and I'm total agreement with concerns and how we present the information to any community that may have some concerns. But like I said before, we're going to work in a way how we can address those situations. Now, I would suggest that if you want to take on this task, if a commission member has said something that you think may not be in line with our goal and what this commission was created for, go to that person directly and have
I did that after it was said, while we were sitting talking with the ladies. Well, you need to go ahead, you're driving illegally, you need to go ahead and form an LLC. The LLC owns the cars. You get one person out of your community that is legal. Let them have the license and the insurance. You can still drive around in the car, and then if you get stopped, the only thing that you'll get is a ticket for driving without a license. You'll get a seatbelt charge. They'll reduce to a seatbelt charge. It's just like when I advise black folk to not tint their windows, to drive around with big rims on their car, and to not boom their music. Say what now? Say what now? So I'm to act. Oh, we got that quorum now. Have mercy. So I'm just Director Jones. I'm saying, yeah, I went directly to the person and I said that, and that's troubling to me, in that we are trying to create an atmosphere of unity and inclusiveness. And to have somebody that's not only on our commission, but on the state commission, that is coming forth and making these type of statements, first of all, it was very rude to our guests. It was very insulting to them, and it insulted my sensibilities as a commissioner, as a human being, as a black man.
Point taken, thank you for sharing.
Yes, sir, I'm
Thank you for sharing that. And what I would do, I will entertain a meeting with us to discuss those issues.
Vance, you have a comment?
Yeah, the other thing I want to say, you know,
We'll come
it keep
back.
coming up about undocumented. And the lady made it clear to us, and I see it for myself, it's just like putting all black folk in a category. My problem with this whole thing is, the ones that are coming are documented, but the kind of treatment they are receiving. So if the documented ones are receiving some kind of treatment, then the other ones are not going to come forward. And that's how I see it when it comes to me as a black man, because I got offended when he brought up about, yeah, like he told the lady, yeah, like I tell black folk about the music and the tires and all that kind of stuff. Now I was offended then myself, and I think I said in that meeting you talking about that not only Hispanics but black folk and all folk that got concerned
Somebody
because of
said
this
that,
meeting.
I
I said it.
remember that.
But my whole thing with this thing is, it's not only about undocumented, it's how the documented ones are being treated.
Because you're exactly right, because when we'll assist residents or in the community, that's a question, we do not entertain that question. These are human beings.
As a human being.
It could be anybody, and anybody that we can assist with the housing situation, or any other consumer, employment, whatever, if they deem need our assistance, we can help them, we definitely help them. So that's another question that we actually entertain. And I'm also sure that when the release chief or his staff respond, he would also try to help relate and assure them that that's not their priority. Their priority is about public safety. And that same thing goes to the fire department. They go to, when they respond to the fire, they don't ask,
So I said all that to say this, in the future, if we talk about how we conduct ourselves, then somebody needs to say, okay, this is not what we're here for. Instead of allowing it going on and on and on.
Absolutely.
It happened in that meeting, it should have stopped that day, because we all voiced our concerns that day.
I
And then to
agree.
have that to come back up again last week, I was totally wrong.
I want to make one comment concerning Brother Smith's concerns, and then I want to move to call the meeting officially to order so we can approve our minutes and so forth. I agree wholeheartedly that a commission member on a human relations commission behaving that way, there needs to be a course of action to deal with. I agree 100%.
Whether we're appointed or not.
Yeah, but I still also agree that, I still also believe that we deal with it in a way that can get it done and can eradicate it, as opposed to doing something that becomes ongoing. And that too is why I'm all in favor of all of us being held accountable for how we present ourselves to the community. We are a human relations commission, and our mission is supposed to be to promote unity. And if we see that a member sitting among us is not doing that, that is a major issue, and it should be handled. It should be dealt with. Having said that, Ms. Teresa is here, and so we now have a quorum. What I would like to do, Teresa, we went ahead and went through the agenda. Of course, we didn't approve anything, we didn't take any kind of action because we weren't here. We didn't have a full quorum, but we do now. And so first thing I'd like to do is go back and entertain a motion to approve our minutes.
So moved.
Motion's been made and properly second that we go back and approve the minutes from our last meeting. You ready for the question?
Question.
All of those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, let it be known by saying hey. So our minutes have been approved. Agenda items for our next meeting. Any suggestions? We know that we're going to try to bring some names back for the awards for Martin Luther King breakfast. Anything else that we want to have on that agenda? Yes, sir.
Point of order, we need to approve the agenda.
Oh, okay, all right, we'll approve the agenda then. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Motion has been made
Second.
and properly seconded that we approve our current agenda. Are you ready for the question?
Question.
Question.
All those in favor,
I got
let it be known. Okay, yes, sir.
In the questions, in the last meeting, where I stated, if anyone has any concerns about the role of the commission and or the appointments, then consider a meeting with the city council to discuss concerns. I think I asked that take place at some point in time. So has that been, are we gonna do that? Seek a meeting with the council, so any questions we
Let
have.
me suggest something, Archie, because it's a very legitimate concern. If we could move forward with finishing this approval of the agenda, the motion here, and then come back to what you were talking about, I think that would be more in order. Can we do that? Is that okay? Okay. Are you ready for the question? All those who in favor, let them know by saying aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose, nay. And the ayes have it, so we have officially approved our agenda. Yes, sir, Danson. Go ahead. Thanks.
Well, I was just asking, was that gonna take place at some point in time? Because, I mean, we have a lot of concerns, like what you were saying.
Uh-huh.
So if you go before the council, you know the do's and the don'ts, or whatever. I mean, obviously.
Well, as a follow to that meeting, a report was provided, the comments from that meeting, and what the requests and the actions were. So it's up to the council whether or not you all will meet, be on the agenda. But what I also have is that, if anybody wants a copy of the ordinance that takes the responsibility for the duties of the commission and the maker of the commission, I can provide that to you also.
I think all of us need that. I think that's my
We will make sure that each one of you have a copy of that.
Is our structure such, did we come up with that structure, or is our structure such that we are different from other commissions where we have a dual chairman? Did we come up with that, or is that a part of our commission?
Most commissions have a chairman and vice chair.
Right.
And then years ago, this commission took the direction of having two co-chairs.
Two coaches.
We can continue to operate like that, or if you all want to go back to a chair and vice chair.
No, I was just asking why we did it.
I was gonna say that the council would probably has the authority to shape the commission, however, they really want to see it shaped. It's just that, I've never seen the details of that. I got the bylaws concerning how it operates and how you elect people and how you put people on it.
So I did have a copy of the ordinance, reference board commission. I'll make sure everybody can receive a copy of that.
Do we have anything else? I take it we don't have any suggestions for the next agenda as of yet. And Archie, if somebody does have a suggestion between now and then, they can, I take it, come to your office and,
Correct.
okay, we can talk to you about it. You all got that? You have any concern, some things you want on the agenda? And that is the way to get your concerns across, is make sure something is on that agenda, so when we come to it, we have to handle it here, okay?
But just in case,
Okay,
I mean, you got commissioners' questions and concerns. So just in case I don't get it on the agenda, are you saying that I can't bring it up?
you can bring it up. Now, I'm talking my knowledge about rules of order, which might not be right, so somebody else feel free to respond. Once the agenda has been established in Archie's office and it comes here, when we come to the place where we want to approve it, I think that is a place where somebody can add something else to it if they get a unanimous vote from the body to add this to this agenda. I think you can come in and actually recommend something. But the commission might decide your concern would be best served if it is new business in the next meeting, so that we can give it due diligence. You know, sometimes if something comes up and it is grave enough, and all of us get it for the first time, I'm not sure how we respond to it. So,
Well, you never will until that time. I just want to make that clear,
yeah.
that if you don't. I understand how meetings work. I'm just saying.
I
I
think
just
you
want
can.
nobody to leave here and thought they couldn't do
Gotcha.
it. I mean, that'll be, no matter
Go ahead, Ms. Webb.
I think most organizations and things like this, if you got something you want on the agenda, you would call Archie the morning before and say, I would like to add an item to the agenda, that would be on the agenda when it came up, if you do it. Now, maybe something come up in here, you wouldn't know, but most organizations, whatever's on the agenda is what you do. But you can add something to the agenda, but let them know that you're gonna add something to the agenda the day before or the day of it. So that, you know, I guess don't blast somebody out or something, not you think what it would, but that's the way it's usually handled. You would call Archie, say, I want to add something to the agenda.
And we would do all we can to work with
Oh, one last thing, and we can move on.
you. So your
because-
point of made, gotcha.
Right,
Yeah.
because,
And it's on the agenda. So we
if
can
I come in here
come back.
today, and before we can add on to the agenda, I can put it on the table today, and we can vote it up or vote it down to add it to the agenda. So I'm just saying, I understand what y'all saying, but you're making it more complicated. I think everybody here aware how meetings work, but let's don't make it complicated.
Well, but I do think, Dan, we need to stick to a certain decorum though, so that, now, when something comes up in a and is new, it's really an item of new business. A meeting agenda is largely old business, okay? And then you got a portion there that says new business. When you come to that, you can bring it up again too, but it's, in my experience in working with commissions and bodies like this, when something is new, it deserves a little time for consideration before actions are taken. So the opportunity to do that is there.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks for sharing
Yes,
information.
yes. Okay, if we have no other agenda items, I believe we have guests.
But before you go on to that, I
Okay.
got a question though. I noticed some people don't come to the meetings anymore. Are they still on the commission or what? Like, Shaw, Bill Shaw.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
I'm just concerned about my
Did he
fellow
go- did he go
commissioners.
Well, I will share this with you. We do keep an attendance record of who attends the meetings, and that information is relayed to the city clerk's office.
Okay, thank you.
I saw where after 3 meetings, council can eliminate.
Oh, I ain't worried about it, I'm just concerned about the brother up here. That's all. I know it's a question to get there.
I have a doctor's thing until they say.
Okay,
I was here in
I guess it's a chance to introduce themselves. Okay, since we have exhausted our current agenda, I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I would like to say something.
Okay.
And I know this is not going to do this, but I would like to congratulate Robinson on the campaign yesterday.
Absolutely.
I understand you know how to run off. We all wish you luck. And I think that we should recognize him. And Ms. Williams, you ran a good campaign. You didn't know how to do it. You can go for it again, girl.
Got a huge following.
So what you're saying is we're not gonna recognize the guests? That's what you're saying?
We are, but the official,
Oh, you're gonna close the meeting, I wanna make it plain, I just want
Yeah,
to.
yeah, absolutely.
Just we got it to recognize the folks out.
So I'll entertain the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, we have a so. Meeting is adjourned.
if you like that, yes, I do. Want to say hello or anything?
This is my first time, my name is Cindy Alston, I'm from Ward 4. This is the first time attending one of the confirmations meetings, and I will be attending.
Back to drinking.
Thank you for coming.
My name is Pearlie Smith, and I was invited by Elaine. I live in Ward 4, and I was all for her. Cried, and she cried.
I have been in that position.
And of course, I am Elaine B. Williams, and, you know, I'm a participant. You know, I get involved, and I enjoy it. I'm committed, I am service oriented. So when you in it, it's just there. Nevertheless, the Lord will be done. So, and I'm gonna support and do what I need.
Absolutely.
You know, Lieutenant, Dan, I was here last time, I thought I was gonna have some resolution to one of your commissioners, conduct in public. again, I was highly offended to the point of why do you allow this with the Hispanic and Latino meetings? And I was under the impression, because I've got a lot of Latino friends, and I invited some, and I'm getting kickback now. Johnny, why didn't you know, they are highly hurt. They were embarrassed, they don't want to come back, and it make me feel like I set them up. And so because I didn't know such stupidity from a commission, a human relations commission. And I'm saying the entire board, because you allow it. I'm highly offended, and my friends were highly offended. Matter of fact, one in particular, I've been knowing for years. And for people to tell you, how's this possible? You know, we thought we was coming here to get these, we thought this commission was to help us. But the treatment we received it, actually, actually that's what they're complaining about. They're like getting this ill treatment, this total disrespect for being treated like second-class citizens in their community. These are their issues, these are their problems. These are things they're confronted with every day, in the workplace, in the community, by officials. Then they come to a place where they say, well, this is the Human Relations Department of the City of Rocky Mountain. These people are supposed to help us with our problems. But then when they come here, they get a whole shovel full of it in their face from one of the members. So I'm going to continue to come until this issue is resolved.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. This gentleman here, I believe, will come.
Yeah, my name is Leroy Williams. I live in Ward. Andre Knight's ward. I was at the meeting, and I want to speak on the last meeting you had. One of your councilmen spoke about race being an issue. Race. It's the biggest issue. Need to be confronted. That's what he said. Brown and black communities have the same issues, other than language, Social Security number. We're not asking to be excluded, shouldn't be. We're asking for inclusion. We have a racial wealth gap, which must be addressed. It's expressed in the meeting. Hispanics and Latinos, it's not a race. I said that the other night. But they should be included because they're included as black and brown. They are us. Reparations is on the table in the presidential election. And it's brought forth by an economist at Duke University, Sandy Darity. Says it's the only fixer. When we speak of the MLK, why people not showing up, I walked out last year. The reason for it, you're choosing people to speak that does not speak his language. The guy spoke about DACA. He didn't speak about all children, so I got my child up and left. My child is facing, by 2053, wealthless. I'm an American descendant of slavery. And so many of us here in Rocky Mountain are the same. My children haven't received their due. I didn't receive mine because we never received reparation after the Emancipation Proclamation. So we're still living in cages. Cages because we have no wealth. So, that's what I want to say.
Thank you, sir. For sure. Thank you, sir. Anybody else have any comments? We're moving closer to 5.
I would like to make one quick
Yes, sir.
One thing I would like to say is that as this should be a body of inclusion, I think that a motion to adjourn a meeting to then participate in public input may not be an ideal situation, because we want the citizens to feel they're included in the process. So an adjournment such as that, people could have the true reason or desire to leave at that particular, and the commissioners are free to do so at that particular time when you take such a motion. So I think that the body of the comments that our participants have should be within the confounds of the actual meeting itself, as that is with our public input. So I did want to bring that to the body outside of your meeting, essentially. Comments to you outside of your meeting. So that's one thing to kind of think about as we move forward.
Okay. Appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
I wanted to do the same thing,
Yes, sir.
outside of the meeting, now meeting. But I want to echo what he said. I've never seen such a thing. I've been to a lot of meetings and I ain't never seen that happen before. So that's why I'm saying, you know, this board I see is going another direction. It's not been how it used to be. It's a change in time. I don't know what y'all did before I got here, and I know I'm not gonna be here much longer once we make an appointment, but I done told you, I will be coming to every meeting. So I'm gonna look at you sideways when you shut down the meeting and then you ask me to speak. I might even have a fit. So I'm letting you know now.
Don't have a fit.
Listen,
So, letting you know now.
there's one thing that is certain, Nancy, we can change the format and the shape and the order of this meeting. It
We don't
can be
need to talk
done.
about it, we don't need to go into it.
Yeah, it can
I'm
be
just,
done.
I
I
told you.
wouldn't want anybody to
don't
feel
need-
like what you see is what you get, because we are a human relations commission. And we are all under, the leadership of a city council who can change this group and, its goings, any way they choose. And so whatever can happen, I'm all for whatever can happen to make people feel more inclusive. I think we should do it, definitely, I think we should do it.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, did you have something to say?
No, I was just gonna introduce myself. I'm Christina Battle, I'm in the Ward 1 as well.
Okay, good.
And I was at the meeting the other night. Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like some work need to be done, in terms of approaching that meeting again, is that right? Sounds like that's a consensus
think
I'm
we-
hearing.
We said we were moving it, didn't we? We said we were gonna move it to closer to where they were at.
Yeah.
Right. I think we
Okay,
are.
all right,
Yeah,
thank
she
you all
ain't
for.
finished.
Yeah,
She started talking.
I was just saying that I think that the meeting just needs to be, I mean, the same issues, like I said, the meeting can be addressed to the whole community. I mean, that's information was shared there that I've never heard before. So I say, don't hold it for just one group. We all need that.
Thank you. Hope y'all will come back again.
I will.